Hey there. Do you ever find yourself staring at a blank sheet of paper, paralyzed by fear that whatever you put on it is going to be absolute garbage? Me too. But stick around, because I've got a mental trick that I think is going to change the way that you approach your creativity forever. And I'm also going to reveal as a bonus why screwing up isn't just okay, it's essential to your growth as an artist. We've both been there 1,000 times. You're sitting at your desk, you've got a pen in your hand, your fingers are hovering over this keyboard, and you're ready to create something amazing. You are, but nothing happens. Does that sound familiar? That, my friends, is the monkey that we call self-consciousness. And it's time that we tame this beast once and for all. Self-consciousness is the annoying backseat driver in your creative journey. And it's constantly second-guessing your every move. And it's whispering things like, is this good enough? Or people are going to think you're a fraud. Or you suck. Before you know it, you're overthinking everything. Trying to be a perfectionist. You're afraid that making that first mark or writing that first word, it's going to just destroy you. But here's the thing. This fear, it's all in your head. And today we're going to kick it out. So first things first, let's address the gorilla in the room, and that is the fear of judgment. We spend so much time worrying about what other people are going to think. But here is the mind-blowing truth. We have no idea what they're thinking. They might think you suck. They might think it's time to order lunch. So why torture yourself over something that we just can't control? We can't predict it. We can't understand it. It's not our problem. Instead, let's shift our focus. And here's some ideas that I think could really change the game for you like they have for me. They help you to break free from these chains of self-consciousness. Okay, first, who are you making this stuff for? I would say my advice, from my experience, the thing to do is to create for an audience of one. That's right, yourself. Make stuff that you like. And when you're passionate about what you're creating, it shows in the work that you're doing. And you know what? Also, authenticity is extremely attractive. It's magnetic. People are drawn to what they see as genuine creativity. You don't give a damn what anyone thinks. You just know what you want to make. That's powerful stuff. Second, embrace the journey and stop worrying about the destination. When you start any kind of creative project, you don't need to have the entire thing mapped out. I know people who are like that. They can, before they sit down to write the first sentence, they already know what the book jacket is going to look like, or who they want to review it. In fact, it's often better that you don't know any of that stuff. Take the first step, and then take the next step, and see where it leads you. It's like going on an adventure, twists and turns, and they're what make it exciting. And they also mean that here at the beginning of the trip, when you haven't even taken your suitcase down from the top of the closet, you can't possibly know where it's all headed. So it's not your problem again. Chill out. Stop thinking. Stop worrying about how it's going to turn out. Third, give yourself permission to screw up. Yeah, you heard me right. Screwing up is not just okay. It is part of the creative process. It is the secret ingredient in your creative recipe. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying and you're not taking risks. And if you're not taking risks, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get better. So to get better, you have to get worse. I know it's counterintuitive, but any experienced artist will tell you that that's the process. You know, when you think about so many great artists, we know them for a small number of works, even the the guys at the top of the mountain. How many different Rembrandt paintings do you know of? How many great Picasso paintings can you really name? Well, those guys worked for 50, in Picasso's case, 80 years making stuff. Most of it you've never heard of, because a lot of it wasn't that great. But the bad stuff was or the not so great stuff is what they climbed on to get to the good stuff. Next, separate your identity from your work. This is really important. You're not defined by any single piece that you create, right? Your worth as a person and as an artist go way beyond what any individual project is that you worked on. So think of your creative work as experiments, explorations, but not ultimate statements of who you are. And when you can make that separation, then you can take risks. You can try new things. You can even fail sometimes without it crushing your spirit or making you question who you are, why you're here, why you're doing this. Again, even the most successful artists make stuff that they didn't love. It's part of the journey. And there's a big difference between having a failed painting or a failed novel and being a failed artist. Next, I would say it's really important to have fun. You're really lucky that you get to do this. There's no reason to be a tortured artist. Play, experiment, try stuff out. Seriously, why are we all so serious about art? Channel your inner child, that 6-year-old kid you were with the crayons at the kitchen table, right? Remember when you used to draw and write and build things just because it was fun? It still is. Recapture that spirit. Tell yourself that you're just playing around. Don't have judgments, don't have expectations. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. As we said at the beginning, just have pure unadulterated fun. Unadulterated fun. Here's another thought that has been really important to me. It's a mental technique that's really changed a lot of things about the way I do things. I think of myself as having 2 distinct workspaces, okay, in my head. One of them is where the creative self lives, the guy that comes up with the ideas and executes them. And then the other part is the critic. And it isn't necessarily that the critic is criticizing. The critic is there as a judge. Call it a judge. The judge, the one who evaluates, that helps to refine it, helps you move to the next level. Takes what you've done, gives it a polish, okay? So now imagine that you have these 2 rooms in your head, and there's a door between them, okay? And when you're in your creation mode, you go into the creation room and you close the door. And you just work without that critic butting in. He's in the other room, I don't know, ironing his robe and polishing his gavel. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he's not ready to get to work yet, and you're not ready to show him stuff. But when you've got a good chunk of work done, then you knock on the door, you open it, and you say, hey, critic, come and have a look at this. And by maintaining that mental separation, you can really tap into your creativity without always worrying and having self-doubt and letting that get in the way. Again, the self-consciousness thing. Okay, but you might say to yourself, what if I put all this effort in and it still sucks? Well, even if you think it sucks, put it out there anyway. You know, because your creation might be exactly what somebody else needs to see. It might inspire them, or at least it might show them maybe what not to do. And you're contributing to the general creative ecosystem. But more importantly, you may not be that good of a judge of what you do. Your critic might be so harsh, so unreasonable, so uninspired that they don't really see what you've made for what it is. A lot of people aren't that good at their jobs. So what makes you think that your inner critic is that good at theirs? But if you put it out there and you have other people look at it and respond to it, you're going to get interesting feedback that's going to help. So I'm going to talk about that concept in other videos, this idea of how to get input. But for now, let me just say, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to ruin you to get negative, middling, unenthusiastic feedback. So again, stop thinking about it. Being self-aware is good. Okay, it helps us to grow, it helps us to improve, helps us to see ourselves. That's part of being an adult. But being self-conscious, as opposed to self-aware, self-conscious, that's just a creativity killer. So let's make a pact right here, right now. Let's be bold. Let's be free. Let's create without fear and share without hesitation. Look, as I'm making this video, I'm wondering, is it any good? Maybe you're wondering the same thing. I don't care. Because every masterpiece started as a rough draft. Didn't come out perfect. Every expert was once a beginner. And every creative genius has stacks of failures that pave the way to success. So close that door, pick up your tool of choice, and start making stuff. The world's waiting to hear your unique point of view on things. Who knows? It might be a masterpiece, the masterpiece that you've been waiting for. Don't be self-conscious. Be self-expressive. Thanks for watching this. I hope it was helpful. And here are a few other easy things that you can do to support your creativity, okay? 1, subscribe to this channel, and then you'll know the next time that I make a video. And I do a couple of them every week. And 2, get my newsletter. I write an essay every Friday that's kind of like this video, only in words in an email. And people seem to like getting it, maybe because it's free. And 3, watch another video. Thanks very much. See you later.